Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Pisces April 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant, and I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings and also healings with many of you over the course of the last month, haven't I? And you know who you are. And it was great to see you and great to spend some time with you. And it's also great to see the subscribers back. Now, if you would be interested in, or you feel led or drawn to either having or seeing what's involved in a one-on-one psychic clairvoyant reading or a healing from me, just check out the information which is in the description box below. Now, you will know, and that can happen from anywhere in the world, of course, over FaceTime or Skype. Now, let me see. We have a Russian deck here, which is quite interesting. And as the subscribers know, always great to see the subscribers. There are no video advertisements breaking their way in here. Did I mention that? So you get to enjoy the experience of this reading without interruption. Now, this is a Russian deck. It's sort of got a lot of Russian Orthodox imagery associated with it. And it's a deck that you probably haven't seen me use. I use it for spiritual work for myself, among other things, as you might imagine. But I get a good spiritual response to it, you know, so I thought, I just feel like doing it this month for you. Because I love doing your readings, honestly. It's just fantastic. I really look forward to you. I have a great affinity with Pisces. Someone that's very, very dear to me is Pisces. So let's get something underway for you now, shall we? And we are going to choose 5 of these Russian cards to see what is in store for you this month. And what's the first one? The 6 of Cups. Yeah, so you'll get the idea of the Russian Orthodox thing. There's the Page of Cups. In just a moment, there's the 6 of Swords. Here is the 2 of Clubs. 2 of Clubs. That would be Wands. And there's the 7 of Clubs. Right. Why don't you, as is our usual practice, I'll ask you to come down and sit down here next to me. We'll have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Well, where shall we go to first? 6s, 2s, 6s, a couple of 6s. 7s, ladies first. Ladies first. Page of Cups. Now, it's a lady, as you can see here, but of course court cards can refer to either gender, you know. And, you know, I think that the people who are going to be important to you at this time are Sagittarius, Libra, Scorpio. Yeah, she is the princess of the palace of the floods. She is the earthy aspect of water. Pages are earth and cups, of course, are water from esoteric point of view. And so therefore she represents the earthy part of water, and in particular the faculty of crystallization. She represents the power of water to give substance to your ideas, to support life, and to form the basis of chemical combinations. That's why water is so important. Now, this can be you, or it can be someone that you know, because the character of this princess is infinitely gracious. Well, it's a young woman, probably, who's very gracious, voluptuous, sweet, gentle. And maybe in the throes of having a crush, or in the early stages of love or romance, because there's a great degree of otherworldliness about her, really. The character is very gracious, kindness, tenderness, and she's living in a world of romance, in the perpetual dream of rapture. Now, superficially, she might therefore be thought to be selfish and lazy, but this is actually a false impression, because she goes about her work silently. You might find that you are very romantically inclined during the period. Might be reading romance novels. You might, it's just got love in the air. It's feeling good for you now. It's a good time to be alive. Your young man, your young woman heart is sort of fluttering in a way, and you should trust your feelings because you are on the right path. It's also a time, I think, when you can afford to be dependent on other people, because you have always given so much. And so it's right that that you can accept benefits from other people during this period, because you always give a lot in return. Now, this is a time, though, where you might be a bit of a dreamer, and some people might think that, oh, you're not necessarily engaging in life. But, well, what's wrong with that anyway? You know, you're on the right path. Now, is there anything, though, that is preventing you from being fully free so you can enjoy these feelings which are welling around you and that you are enjoying? Because you now have the opportunity to let go of that thing preventing you from being free as well. Now imagine that you are surrounded by water and are dancing the dance of salvation and freedom with light flowing movements. And say this to yourself: the more I love myself, the more I can share with others. Now, on the same line as this horizontal line is this Six of Cups. What's happening there? It's quite interesting, this old Russian style art, isn't it? You don't often see it much around anymore. Well, this is the Lord of Pleasure. Why, you ask me? Well, it's because in this position, above this Two of Clubs and diagonally opposite the Seven of Clubs, and with that page on the same line, it is the Sun ruling the second decan of Scorpio. Now, with the number 6 here, I also have an association with the Sun in the numerology. And from a mystical point of view, I have a great association with Christ consciousness, with Krishna consciousness, with Vishnu consciousness, and with the consciousness of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when he received the Quran from the Archangel Gabriel. So there's a double sun going on here. Sun in the number 6, and the Sun ruling Scorpio. Now, a double sun reveals what Scorpio wants to hide. And what we have here is lust, enjoyment, pleasure in a sexual relationship. Now, if you're not with someone, this might just be occurring, or this not just, but this may be occurring in your fantasy life, and there's no problem with that. But there's a rich exchange of sexual and heart energy as well. There's also a great degree of emotional renewal for you at this period. These cups here have got a brass top that I look at. That has an association with the planet of Venus. It was also about relationships, of course, but Venus is also about healing. So I see indulgence, sexual pleasure, excitement. I mean, this excitement is like that excitement that you get when you first fall in love, or when you feel like you have a crush on somebody. There's family support here as well. But the pleasure is a kind of pleasure which is completely harmonized. Now, the zodiac sign that I have assigned here, Scorpio, well, pleasure is planted in its most fertile soil, isn't it, in Scorpio? This is a preeminently fertile card, and frankly, I think it's one of the best in the pack. This is an invitation to give yourself up to the richness of your own emotionality. Now, you may experience this as a jump into water, as the tingling anticipation of diving deeply, of disappearing, of letting go. Rising to the surface, you are refreshed. This is the process of death and rebirth. The result of taking the risk is deep emotional purification and renewal. Now, the emphasis on this card is, for me, in the place where it is about, it is on sexuality, but it's not in an uncontrolled way. Maybe it's better to say it's about pleasure, and pleasure experienced after much hardship, I suspect. I think you are also undergoing a period of healing and transformation. But certainly the emphasis is on a relationship, or on the desire to have a relationship that will improve both of the individuals, where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. But enjoy now all which life gives you. This is the best way to express your gratitude. Are you holding on to old beliefs which prevent your enjoyment of pleasure? Enjoy your own emotional wealth and share it with someone. And say to yourself, I'm now open to a person with whom I can share the joys of love on all levels. Now, just for the sake of my own curiosity, what is sitting underneath it? Underneath it is the Two of Clubs. Let's have a look at this, shall we? See what's going on here. The Two of Clubs. Well, this is Mars here in Aries. Mars in Aries with the Sun exalted. And this is the Lord of Dominion. There's a lot of warlike energy around here, where you will be almost something like a dynamic pioneer. You'll have the domination or the mastery over a situation, or the domination of somebody else. Certainly, you are not going to be satisfied with your lot, and you'll be focusing on your intent. Now, Aries is about exploration, pioneering, and the Two is about balance. So here you might see the energy move in a situation where you want to move in that direction, which is Aries, from a place of balance with the confidence and aggression of Mars. Actually, if I may say it, I think that during this period, you may even be overcome by boldness, courage, fierceness, even a shamelessness, really. You will be generous and proud, but there could well be a certain amount of revenge and resolution brooding within you that you want to inflict upon someone. Certainly, this energy suggests that your will is beginning to rebel against its predisposed boundaries, come hell or high water. Now, you'll be using your willpower to break through stagnant situations and remove long-standing blocks. This is a time to act, and act on instinct and what you believe to be right without overthinking the situation. You definitely are going to have dynamic leadership ability that's recognized by other people. And you've got a lot of energy that's building up and you're ready to explode. But you must pay attention to centering. If you are in contact with your center, then you are certain to master the situation. Trust your energy. Don't go for any false compromises. Now, which tasks and situations are a challenge to you? If you are in a challenging situation, sit down upright and comfortably and breathe deeply into your abdomen. Wait until your breathing flows gently and calmly and you feel quite relaxed. Now visualize the situation at hand and see yourself dealing with it while remaining centered. And say to yourself, I find the strength I need now in my own center. Well, where shall we head to? Let's look to see what's coming through here, because this is quite important, this thing, clearly. And it is saying that, well, this is the Lord of earned success for you. And it is Mercury ruling the second decan of Aquarius, that 30th of January to the 9th of February. Now, the air planet of Mercury, that flitty planet, the ones that zips around the sun, comes back, goes forward, then goes into retrograde, well, it finds itself in the fixed sign of air, which is Aquarius. See, Aquarius is an air sign, as you may already know, but some people would think it's a water sign because of that water bearer symbol that's often with it, and with the symbol that looks like a couple of waves. But the thing is that with Mercury in Aquarius, the good thing is that Mercury happens to be exalted in Aquarius. Aquarius is also the planet of the intellect, diplomacy, analyzing, communication, and that highlights the intellectual qualities of this energy. Now, Aquarius is an air sign, as I say, which is detached and intellectual by nature, and Mercury's ability to analyze brings you a clear perspective on things going forward. Now, the astrology suggests that you should take a somewhat detached but balanced approach to something. An assessment of a situation which is balanced needs to be taken. You need to analyze something without bias and without any emotion in order to get the best result. Now, Aquarius is also the sign of innovation and originality, so this can also represent you communicating ideas that are new, even unconventional, in an orderly way. So this is a period where you will have a great ability to analyze, to unify your ideas as an all-encompassing vision, an all-embracing understanding and objectivity with you. Great mental clarity, and you'll be using your intellect and logic. Now, there's a chance that some people could be moving here as well, I'm getting, but there's a period of calmness ahead of you. I think there's success for you in this month after what has been something of a struggle. You know, you will obtain intellectual clarity from having learnt from difficult experiences in the past. You've grown through tough times, haven't you? And now you have a better handle on life, and can make intelligent decisions that are going to benefit you. There's a greater awareness to your thinking and actions now. This can also mean that there's a situation that you have not able to come to grips with, but that's now getting better. You're now thinking out a better approach in dealing with the situation. You know, you possess the ability to perceive on different levels and from different perspectives. Your understanding of things unites many different aspects. Where are and what are the ruts in your life? Trust your insight. Communicate in a way others will understand, and allow the rose within you to unfold, and say to yourself, "The rose of recognition blossoms in my heart." And then finally we come to this card, which is the Seven of Clubs in our journey. And this is talking about, well, first of all, it's Mars. Now, Mars in the third decan of Leo. There is, with the number 7, I have the planet of Venus associated with the number of 7. Mystically, I also have associated with it an area of divine emanation that occurred prior to the appearance of space and time that we mystics refer to as victory. So Venus is in the number 7, and Mars is coming into Leo here. So the energy of the suit of fire, which is this suit of clubs, is kind of weakened down here at the 7, this far down. And we also have the feminine energy of the 7, ruled by Venus, that further dilutes the strength of fire in this suit. Now, Mars normally gets on really well with Leo, but in this case, being so low down in the suit, I don't think that harmony exists. And also the feminine energy of Venus doesn't sit well with Mars. So much so that you might think that it is pretty much only your Mars energy that is keeping you going, and that it feels from time to time that you are fighting a losing battle, or that you are on a sinking ship. But I call this card the Lord of Valor, which is the Lord of Courage. Now, Mars in Leo usually indicates someone with authority and power. But here, what you have is you do have power, but you need to dig deep and use all your resources in a very difficult situation. And you may have a lack of focus in the way that you are acting. So beware of that. But what you have here, though, is you have the ability to have learned from past experience. If you apply these lessons, you'll be able to take further risks with greater awareness. Now, you may think, although it is not the case, you may think that maybe you haven't been dealt the best hand, even that things in the background don't appear to be going well. But you understand this situation, don't you? Look where we've come. You've got the right thoughts in place now. You're analyzing situations. Both of these things allow you, added to by this Lord of Valor, this Lord of Courage, together, and this thing here's victory, allows you to overcome things. So I think that compromises really are out of the question for you now, because they would require a denial of your own inner reality. It's time for you to stand your ground and remain true to your energies unconditionally. Now, being true to yourself includes standing up for your own truth, even in the face of immense resistance. Trust your power. In this present situation, you must assert yourself at all costs. Are you ready to accept all consequences? Become aware of whatever fears have prevented you until now from asserting yourself. And say this to yourself: I express my own reality openly and honestly. Well, what a particularly fantastic spread of cards for you. Well done, you. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed providing it to you. It really was an interesting reading, and great things are in store for you this month. I found the artwork, did you not, to be quite interesting. It's not the type of thing that you see every day, is it? But anyway, there'll be a different deck for next month. But in the meantime, I want you to remember one thing and one thing only, and it is this: that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.